to be in the off lane.
It's a little bit of a concern. I think the concern isn't obviously for the what would be the Puppey Rezo lane. It's more the Zayat's Crystallized lane, where
10 seconds
Crystallus,
remaining.
excuse me, where they just haven't had that same level of
5 seconds
bonding,
remaining.
I guess you could call it, and even just the language barrier as well. Because Rezo and Zayat speak together in Russian the entire laning phase essentially, and Puppey understands what they're talking about. There they go, they ban away that drow. I don't know, I would feel a lot less confident about it, and in those games we've really seen Crystallis look a lot less potent, let's call it that.
Keep in mind as well, I mean, Secret made it through the last chance qualifiers, so I think they're an incredible team, but this is really just me I was mainly trying to say like why I asked that question, because a lot of people are expecting Secret to make a deep run, and teams could be able to manipulate that potential if they can't play in with the 3 or Zayats with Crystallis. So that's really why I asked the question, because again we're really trying to set up the storyline of these teams making a deep run and how you can try and kind of punish them, and if that is going to be an angle for anyone.
See, most heroes that have flex between position 2 and position 1, I would say you're confident with picking up this Chen and playing with it, but not the way that Puppey plays Chen. A lot of the reasons, and he gets blamed for it a lot, Crystallis, that he, doesn't have the greatest impact in game, that he's got a tiny hero pool, blah, 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 the list goes on. But it's because Puppey plays so greedy that he has a rough time a lot of the time. Like, he is literally left 1v2 because Puppey's off in the jungle farming with his Chen or his Enchantress, right? So it impacts him in that way, and I feel like you just can't do that when you've got a Morphling. The Morphling needs assistance in the lane. He needs Puppey to play a lot more babysitting style, and I'm not sure if Chen is the best hero to be able to do that. So I'm still feeling confident that this Morphling is being played.
Have a look at Zayat's heroes. I think I did run a little bit through the last chance qualifiers with the Earth Spirit getting picked up, so have a way to be able to initiate, and I wonder if they go for a pretty self-sufficient offlaner here for Rezo, just so maybe that can open up Zayats to make some movements across the map.
What are we talking, Necro or something?
Beastcoast's turn.
You could argue for a Timber already. I'm going to get a Lesh out of them though, so we have even seen Resolution play it. So I think if I remember correctly, he absolutely popped off on that game, and I believe he in fact carried them on the offlane Lesh track. So there is some flex here from Secret.
You know what I think about Secret's style of who's the actual carry in this team? The answer is nobody. Nobody is the actual carry, or everyone is, they just flex it so seamlessly between 1, 2, and 3 that at sometimes Crystallis looks like an off-laner playing in the safe lane, sometimes it's Nisha picking up the reins, and sometimes it's Rezo carrying a game on his Leshrac or his Enchantress. So anything's possible with Team Secret. I would assume that it's going to be Crystallis' hero for the very end of the draft. Monkey King isn't there, Ursa isn't there. I wonder what they're going to go for.
So you're pretty convinced this is a Rezo Lesh?
Team Secret's turn.
Fairly convinced.
Good Seeker.
Like that. A lot. Stops Earth Spirit from doing a lot. Stops Leshrac from running at you. The Bloodright stops the Chen creeps. You can get all the armor in the world and all of the magic resist in the world, but still does that pure damage against you. Really, really like this Bloodseeker pick coming through.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, so back on your on you believing this is a offlane Lesh, are you worried that you don't get as much out of the Earth Spirit rotating? Because I feel like Earth Spirit Lesh lane can have success, but I feel like you really want to open up the map for Zayats and not be forced just to play one lane.
I think you can set it up for success, right? Like you've got this lane where if you want to, you can kick the stone into the creep wave. You can spam out the lightning storm. You can harass out the Enchantress fairly effectively while doing all of it. And then by doing that, as long as you get rid of the sentry ward that's blocking up the hard camp, you're going to be able to make some pulls happen. And then suddenly you feel a lot safer farming on this side with Rezo. And like, if I had to pick the best mid laner and the best pos 4 of the last chance qualifiers, it would have been Nisha and Zayat. Good reason, right? They finished first throughout the entire one, but it really felt like they were the key difference makers for Secret throughout that entire tournament.
See what that hero is going to be for Nisha. Sorry, you said you think it's a Nisha Morphling, right? So we're looking for the crystals here?
I think it is, but what are they wanting to ban out? Because, I mean, ban into Lesh is bat favored, but Lesh doesn't hate it just because you can go to stick and spam out the lightning storm and it's not as big an issue.
Team Secrets,
the Zeus, although I suppose Zeus into Morphling is a little bit favored. And you can just see the style of heroes being banned out. I mean, these are Rezo heroes for sure. We've seen Chrysalis actually picked up a win on Dawnbreaker a couple of times during the qualifiers as well. So, could be an option.
10 seconds remaining.
What do we feel like are some of the flaws that Secret need to cover with the last pick? Because they do have a lot of flex, so what does the hero just at least need to give them?
Team fight. I think they need something that gives stuns, so you're not relying entirely on Zayats. Morphling is at its best whenever you've got something to be able to set up for you. You don't want to commit super heavily unless it's to like pick off a support or even even a mid laner, let's say, early on into a team fight. But once you're in, as long as you've got the team fight begun, as long as the close are off from the rest of the team, you feel like you're in a pretty good spot.
Beastcoast's turn to pick.
See if Secret are going to be able to pick up that team fight, and it will be Slaughter, so we could be getting the safe lane Slaughter that we saw prior. Armor's going to be really nice. Centaur doesn't have a whole lot of armor. Slaughter, I actually think it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be Slaughter 1. With the Chen lane, it's very, very strong with the penitence bonus attack speed. I think they're going to have a lot of difficulties actually with that on Beastcoast. You might have to put the Enchantress into the Slaughter lane now.
Yeah, it's a possibility for sure. I mean, even just against the Bloodseeker, if they do just opt to go a little bit more traditional, pretty decent against the Bloodseeker too, right? Any kind of melee core.
Beastcoast looking for their last. They too also really like flexing the Snapfire into the mid lane. Are we just expecting this to be a support Snapfire and still looking for the C-Smile hero?
I am. I'm kind of expecting it to be potentially maybe an Invoker. I mean, it's pretty good against the Lash, it's pretty good against the Morphling, just in terms of being able to burn the mana, make sure that you're not able to A, do damage, or B, attribute shift. And I feel like it's going to provide you with that little bit of extra control that you need.
Select your heroes.
Puck still provides the control, so I think this is fine enough. It's going to be a little harder for the Slardar to lock onto as well.
That would give you a nice way to also follow up, or I should say start with the Snapfire then. Boil into Kisses, very, very scary. That will be the Crystal Slardar. So we're going to get another position 1 Slardar. We saw earlier in the day Pure played it in combination with Stormer's Shadow Fiend, and they didn't have as much success on it. See if it's going to be a little bit different here with the Slardar Morphling combo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very different, and I think it provides that additional stun that I was talking about, right? For you to be able to begin a team fight onto a super squishy hero. They're just going to be playing quite heavily around this blink timing on Chrysalis. If he can get that in with the 3 points, the 3 charges of the Bash in the Deep, blink in, stun, into waveform, into death on C-Smile. That's going to be the big play that they're looking to go for on Team Secret to bust these team fights wide open. It's going to enable Resolution to come in, do some damage in onto the towers, and it's all about just opening up the top side of the map for Nisha to be able to farm in the jungle, because this game, he's the true carry.
That he is indeed, and we'll see, like you said, Secret, they've got a lot of carries on their team overall, so we'll see how much space they're going to be able to get for themselves. And I think probably for Secret, really the big early game timing you're looking at is Mech on Puppy, so they can then group up with the Diabolic Edict on Rezo to try and bring down some towers. I think their safe lane is going to go incredibly well. I'm worried for Centaur because I think this is a hero that needs to have a good lane, and you need to kind of have a good first 15 minutes so you can get Hood/Vanguard into the Blink Dagger. You kind of need those 2 items, and if you die a couple times beforehand, all of a sudden you just come a Blink bot, and it can be very difficult for you to play the game. Besides that point though, I'm very excited to see what K1 can doing the... I think this is a pretty good... His lane should be Soul. Like a Bloodseeker Enchantress, if that's how they set it up, it is a very, very difficult lane to go into.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to make Rezo's life a little challenging, if that is indeed how they're looking to set this one up. The other aspect that I want to mention as we do get into the game is the Morphling. You know, Aghanim Scepter is essentially core as your, let's call it, third item on the Morphling. If you're playing against an AG carry that needs to right-click, very important that you look to steal away some of that attack speed. But against a Bloodseeker, it's not as big of an issue, right? Because you've got the Blood Rage, you've got ways to give yourself 150 attack speed. So if you're able to just steal away, 70 attack speed? Of course it's still a lot, but it's not quite as bad as a lot of these other carries that, you know, rely entirely on their right-click damage just through items and their attack speed rather.
30 seconds to battle.
See how this game one shapes up. Would be all 1-1, guys. We'll see if this is going to continue to be the case here in our fourth series over on Stream C. Do we have a team that might have a slight advantage in this game one, or do we feel like it's relatively even looking at the draft?
I have faith in the Nisha Morphin. I think he's going to be able to get enough done this game to be able to pull this one. No real huge counters. The way to limit its effectiveness is to really body it in the laning stage, and while Puck's a strong laner, it's not as strong as it used to be, both in terms of the damage output. Okay, went to the mid lane. He was sticking around a little bit too long, really just wanting to keep track of where these lanes are looking to set up. But yeah, there's no small camp to be able to play around with anymore with the Illusory. So I feel like Nisha's going to be able to just fine in this lane.
Yeah, I think Nisha's going to have a very good time as well. Maybe the nuke from a nighttime might catch him off guard, but I imagine Nisha will not be caught off guard by that at all, especially with an Abyssal Ward placed around mid. So we're going to see the Puck will probably be free to make a lot more rotations. He does have to be very wary, though if he leaves mid for a little bit too long, that the Morphling can get a lot of damage into the tower, but Nisha's going to play his own game, whereas C-Smile will think about making some rotations.
I want to see the first skill point that Puppy puts in. Of course, most of the time you get the Holy Persuasion, and he's walking towards the camp to try and get one super early on. It's just going to be a Kobold, it seems. But you want to do that against an Enchantress. I mean, she's just going to look to steal it away from you immediately after that. So I think we're going to see some creeps bouncing back and forth between these two up on the top side.
Yeah, and do you like how Secret set the lanes up though, with Chrysalis and Poppy being in the kind of off lane, and then Rezo and Zayats playing down in the safe lane?
I think it's fine. I think the biggest thing was they just wanted a reliable way to reduce some of this movement speed coming through. Maybe they'll get an early point into the Penitence, just to be able to provide a little bit more of that harass top side. They're starting to get a little aggressive onto him, and certainly the movement speed helps from the cup guy.
Without a doubt, Chrysalis should be able to keep on top of K1. They're trying to get the creep in front of the Bloodseeker to help with the body blocks. You see, Bloodseeker is someone that has a lot more armor than what the Centaur does in a lane. But potentially they felt like Chrysalis would have had a fine lane regardless up against the Bloodseeker or the Centaur, and just importantly, they want to get Resolution off to a good start.
Yeah, I think that's more the mindset for all of this, although you have to be a little careful still, because you're up against two stuns. Gajiri's constantly looking to try and make these wraparound plays. Might end up falling himself though.
Got to be cautious of your own positioning. A kick into the Lightning Storm. A lot of damage being cast out from afar. Another round of the Lightning Storm's going to be up shortly, but Gojira does have the Fairy Fire for quiet, so he's going to duck into the tree line, allowing Whisper to take up the damage at the moment and push Resolution away as he almost goes down to the double edge. And like you said, this is still a scary lane combo that Dire playing with, but Gojira should go down as Resolution re-enters with the Lightning Storm and finds first blood.
He had the Fairy Fire and the Magic Stick to be able to play with, as well as a Tango ticking at the time, so that just comes down to, again, that lane cohesion coming through from Zayats and Rezo. Put a lot of this early pressure on every single opportunity that they get. They're just looking to secure the range creeps, make sure they're in a really solid position to be able to fight into this Beastcoast lineup.
Should be able to secure the kill. Whisper to the third level, easily done. Meanwhile, Poppy, I believe, had to TP back to base as well off the back of the aggression from Beastcoast top. So, decent start overall for Dire, being able to kind of hit back after that first blood was picked up.
Rezo, as expected, having a really solid time in this mid lane top. So it looks like they'll have to back off. But yeah, he's not taking as much harass from this puck as other players might. It's still a relatively even matchup, but certainly Morphling favoured in terms of the damage output that you're able to put on, and he's almost already level 5 at 4 minutes in, so having a fantastic time. Might even stack up for himself here on his way back to the lane.
Gojira down bottom might be in some trouble. Ball connects from Zayats. Whisper's going to try and put his body in front of Resolution so Gojira can get out of danger. Very nicely done from the Centaur.
Constantly just having to make these choices of, you know, do we look to fight these two, or do we give up a lot of this farm that's going underneath the tower? And unfortunately for Zayats, just the connection not quite there at the exact same time. Rezo had about a wave and a half going underneath the tier 1 tower that he just could not afford to give up.
What do you feel like the call is for Zayats? Is he going to go back down to the bottom lane here to pair with Rezo, or is there something else that he might be considering?
Not really around any power and timing, so...
Ooh, yo, see, smile. Beautifully done. That was in daytime. They were able to blow him up as well. It was in the lane, and okay. I was watching the entirety of it. I kind of turned away for a second.
Individual players, like, he tried that in the first series that we saw today. Rather, against Entity, the solo pickup against Stormer while he was playing his Venomancer.
Rogiro, just out of range with the cookie. Great side set from Resolutions. I should be able to solo chase down Gojira, and the Orb of Venom will make sure that the Snapfire will not be able to get too far out of range, and a roll on the mark. They could find their second kill. She's pretty wary now. Tisnal has already proved once that he's been able to kill him. She's going to make sure that he's playing with a little bit more health, 700, and even they're going to look to try and enable C-Smile as well. Gojira's going to TP, and he'll probably stick around as well for the power rune that's going to spawn shortly. No help will come out for Nisha, unfortunately, so it looks like it should be a power rune that goes the way of the puck.
Got the Dream Coil as well if they were wanting to be able to make a kill attempt here. Zayats, he's actually going to walk into Gojira. Didn't see him coming. Anticipating that there might be a movement coming towards the bounty rune. Instead, it's going to be C-Smile lucking out with the DD rune, certainly resolving a few of those issues. And with the power treads, there's actually a good amount of kill threat coming through if they wanted to go for it. But the play before, he's pretty heavily agi-buffed, but Nisha, wisely enough, playing around the left-hand side of that mid lane. I'm sure that he's not going to get caught out.
Really, that big thing is just a ward being placed at the night time. There's going to be no shenanigans in the tree line of a jump over with that silence from C-Smile to try and blow him up. If you're going to use it, DD actually aggressively sees that he's pretty fast strength morphed at the moment for Nisha, so doesn't have too much breathing room to play with. But Adaptive Strike pushes C-Smile up to the high ground. He's still going to consider about going under the T2 tower, pushing Nisha completely away from another full wave that's going to move shortly. Meanwhile, down bottom, Gojira kills off Resolution as well, so a great start for Beastcoast in all the lanes.
Where are you going?
Definitely. Things up very well, just trying to bully Nisha
Playing now as well, Crystallis. He's going to get chased into the tree line. One more right click. They've got complete vision of the slider and how he's trying to escape. Zayats will tip in to claim the life of the Enchantress. A decent amount of damage onto K1 as well with the help of the tower, but no way they're going to be able to chase him down. Just some poking being done.
Seems like there's anything big coming for Whisper next. He just wants to stay in this lane for as long as possible. Pressure it out. Realizing that, again, you don't have the strongest tower pushes, acting kind of similar to a Timbersaw this time around. Bit of that map open for you to be able to play with. Of course, the Bloodseeker, once you get into the Maelstrom, you're able to accelerate your farm pretty damn fast, but a while until K1 gets to that stage.
I wonder when K1's going to consider about going the... what the item build is going to be for the Bloodseeker in a game like this as well. Like if he's going to defer from the natural that we see is from bottom lane. Rezo, Stampede to close the distance. 3 points up at the double edge as well, so plenty of damage. Nisha's actually going to look to make a rotation. It'll be too late to keep Resolution alive, but he might be able to get a rebuttal with a kill onto Gojira. Gotta be cautious though, because even C-Smile's going to be able to mirror this movement. It's not an easy kill onto the Morphling at all. Well, it's going to be laid down, but the follow-up will not be there, so Nisha will be okay for the moment. Even Zayats are going to try and clean up Whisper. The roll forward with a waveform, beautifully done. Is Nisha, great movement out of him, in fact, gets the double kill. Gonna be cautious though, because C-Smile looking to jump in with a silence. The very fire health is not enough. It was almost to keep him alive through the silence duration, but C-Smile gets a second kill on Nisha through the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he unfortunately wasn't quick enough to go into the strength treads either. Might have been able to save him there, but you just see how impactful the Morphling is as long as you've got that stun set up to enable you to go in and instantly burst someone down. Most of the time, it's not going to be that Centaur. You want it to be C-Smile, especially considering how effective of an early game he's been having.
Looks like with all the farm that he's been able to pick up, it's going to be the Spirit Vessel for C-Smile.
Don't hate it. I mean, no one else on the team really wants to be picking it up, and we can see how effective it's going to be against multiple strength heroes, a Morphling, Chen, the Hand of God, and the mech that Puppy loves to rush. Just understanding your opponent right there, realizing that Puppy plays a much greedier style, hasn't done it so much this game, and I'm kind of surprised with how far behind Crystallis is relative to K1 on the top side, but if there's one thing that K1 knows, it's how to get a lot out of the lane.
Is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
See what Secret are going to be able to do to find a way back into this 4,000 deficit for them. Spirit Vessel being picked up at an early stage is really going to make it difficult for the timing that I thought they were going to hit initially. This mech into the left rack wanting to group up and potentially take some towers, so not blame Secret. Want to try and defend the tower. Crystal's going to be able to enter even though he's ruptured. See if he can chain control K1 underneath the vicinity. He's able to do just that. But he will still end up dying nonetheless, so a 1-for-1, but a big kill to be able to slow down the farm of K1, considering how he's looking at the moment, second in the net worth from the Bloodseeker.
Solid, isn't he? Ice is the one holding on to the tome right now. I don't really want him to claim it. He's level 7 now. Okay, he did use it. But you got Puppy, who's not quite level 5 yet. And I feel like having that Hand of God available, just making sure that you're able to retain these two towers once more, enable the Morphling to farm a lot safer, going to be the main priority for Secret in this next little bit. So he's just going farming as well. This is an incredibly greedy style coming through from Secret.
Gojira TP's in and Nisha just instantly plays with the Sapphire Replicate, and they're going to be cautious how long they stick around because C-Smile again! Oh my lord, how many times is that now? Just catching out Nisha before the attribute shift, wants a high five as well before he gets the kill onto Zayats, but well, he's got too much damage for even an opportunity for the Ice Spirit to keep it one.
Great about it, like just double damage enables a hero like Puck to play like that, completely fearlessly, underneath your own tower. Sure, it makes a total sense, but I'm sure that Nisha, he's just thinking off the back of years and years of experience of, alright, even a Puck isn't able to kill me, but Puck with that kind of damage boost.
At all, not with a Puck that's 2-level advantage and has a Witchblade now coming out in the Courier.
So much tankier as well. You know, I was talking about those quick pickoffs that they're going to be wanting to get out of Crystallis, but he is miles away from getting into the Blink Dagger, just essentially working towards the Mask of Madness, missing a few easy last hits too. That it's going to quite some time until he's going to be able to respond to this. Essentially equal in net worth right now to the Stinger.
The bottom lane, Resolution's in trouble. Whisper with the Blink reveal with the fall Mortimer Kisses. Beastcoast get another kill across the map. Secret gonna try and hit back, but it's just Gojira and it is not even gonna go down. Snapfire himself is tanking Whisper. Spinning for a double stun. C-Smile is instantly able to connect as well, and they've got the wall in the cliff, so they know exactly where Zayats is pathing to try and escape the aggression. He might be able to roll away, but Whisper's ready with the Blink back up, surely. Go for it, you bet he is. The right click afterwards, and then another kill for Beastcoast, as it is all dire in this game one.
I mean, this is what's going to happen, right? You've gone for a greedy style of draft, all of your cores are farming, one of your supports is farming, something's got to give, and they are just bleeding towers, they're bleeding map control, not even giving out anything in exchange on Beastcoast. So I like the fact that they've upped the tempo. A lot of it comes down to the individual skill in the lanes as well, of course, but they understand this is the way the Secret like to play, so let's not let them. Let's punish them while they're weak. Early on with his slider, early on with a morphling, really doesn't do too much.
Yeah, it just feels like the greedies now have really been shown with Secret. Like Slido's in particular a hero that if you lose your lane, you're not catching up. This hero catches up with kills, you don't particularly catch up by farming, so you're now going to have pretty much an off-lane Slider, which I guess is, if the game can somehow make it late, sure, the minus armor is going to be great with the morphling, but...
Careful bottom. Needs vision right now, K1. Not doing too much obvious, just staying on the lane. They're thinking no one goes up this far on a Blood Secret at this stage of the game. This is the area of the map that he doesn't want to be quite yet at this stage. Go into a heart on Whisper, feeling himself just wanting to tank up as much as possible.
Hey. He's already been a tricky man to be able to kill. Only one death so far. First phase Centaur 5, 1 and 5. See what the play is going to be. Secret continuing to try and take a skirmish at this bottom kind of jungle area. They've got very good vision nearby.
Dagger plus Witchblade to see Smart.
Points indeed.
They've got the Anonymous Kisses as well, so he's going to look to pair up together with Gojira, potentially get some kills happening. I think you could afford to put Enchantress up top here, just get a little bit of that extra farm, get into the fight, make it so that the movement that's going to eventually be coming through from the Enchantress, your Spirit as well, is nowhere near as impactful. Go, Gojira, smoke, checks if there's any kind of vision. Go for a smoke together, I would assume. Wanting Whisper to be with him, but he's saying, no, you could probably do it on your own.
We'll smoke up at the end. See where Beastcoast look to go.
Oh,
Shaw's going to reveal shortly mid. It might catch him off guard. There's the jump, no attribute shift, and another dead Morphling. Oh boy, this is going to open up the tier 1 tower now as Beastcoast with the catapult wave should be able to find all tier 1 towers of the game.
Love this for Beastcoast as well. I mean, they just have K1 making the rotation forward as well. Wasn't part of the team fight, but just made sure that the lane was in a good spot to immediately get an objective on the map.
See Smile.
Nice
side step to the ball. Now the Stampede as Whisper hits a Doom and looks on. Gojira's got the bulb as well. Oh boy, this is getting really out of hand here in game 1.
It is. They even still get the tower. You know, I talk about it a fair amount. I said, smokes early on, it's not enough just to get a kill, even if it's onto the enemy position 1. And this game, Nisha is the position 1 on Secret. So you got to make sure that you're getting that plus an objective. So the fact that they're able to get Nisha plus 2 other heroes plus the tier 1 tower off of the back of a single smoke just shows how well they're playing together right now on Beastcoast. And they're going to get another.
And it looks like that'll be the case. Puppy's going to try and TP in along with some other members on Secret, but this is not going to survive for long enough. They'll try and kick back the Enchantress into the resolution. Finally be able to get a kill, but look at the rebuttal from Beastcoast. The coil laid down. C-Smile's taking up a lot of damage from the Edict, and resolution, okay. Maxed out Edict. Oh, it gives a tip as well. Hang on a second.
We were just waiting for it. Come on, we were just waiting. But, I mean, we've watched enough Rezo games. He knows that he needs to get into the head of the opponent.
Try and tilt them out a little bit. C-Smile's gonna out a voice line as well. So resolution, that's a lot of gold going his way. Bloodstone now completed, and this, alright. I mean, you could make a very similar play that what just happened from Beastcoast, where they commit a little bit too heavily. Rezo with the help of the sustain from Puppy turn around, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of the fight, and very difficult to retreat from Beastcoast. So see if this could pay off here.
I really like the idea of the item build he's going for as well. Going into the Blink Dagger next item, you're up against a Centaur, you're up against a Puck, you're up against a Bloodseeker. All 3 of them have ultimates that stop you from just slowly walking up and getting onto the team. So if he's able to just instantly be that gap closer, pairing together with Zayat, it's going to go a long way towards providing that extra damage that they've been needing in these team fights.
Unfortunate for Secret. To go. It's another power in for C-Smile. We saw what he was able to do prior with this, and now an invis to potentially catch out Nisha once again. His pants down. There's the jump. Doesn't get the attribute shift, and the burst should be enough, even through the sustain coming out from Poppy's Gen. They're going to try and turn to still deal with some other members, as it looks like they'll bring down Resolution with the Bloodstone kill, not enough to keep them alive, and even K1 wants to get involved as well. One shot from Whisper over the tree line, landing the double hoof stomp, and our Chrysalis will not be able to survive on the higher ground, and Puppy even as well. The next they're considering about chasing down is, yeah, why not chase him, why not get him, but Stun just a little bit too shy. We're still on cooldown, unfortunately, for Whisper, so they weren't able to get the full team wipe 19 minutes in.
They will get a tier 2 tower, though, very happily, and K1 even just looking to keep the pressure going. Out this mid tower, get a lot of that lifesteal coming back from all of the creeps. Very, very handy stage for Beastcoast to be in right now, and you know, even just the idea behind that Blink Dagger that I was talking about for Leshrac, I really do enjoy it, because next 5 or so minutes are all on the back of Rezo. You know, he needs to be a little bit greedier, just pick up that next item, but once he gets Blink Dagger, he needs to be selfless. He needs to make sure that he's got space to open up the map a little bit more.
Silence, I see the damage from Niche is going to be not great use of the replica. I mean, the Resolution's on to Gojira as well. A very awkward position for the Snapfire to cookie into. Very nicely done. Secret catch up. They've always got a triangle of vision around the bottom jungle. They might. 2 points up in the corrosive haze.
They're considering it. It's scouted out by Stinger, though. Buyback available on the puck, but I don't know if you want to be expending this just yet. Shep will be joining in with the rest of his team. They steal away the Centaur and all of their vision. They look to contest this, and they try and slow it down is the better question.
Has fallen to the Radiant.
He freed up the item slot as well. He was thinking about it, but wanting to give away what is still a 10k lead for Beastcoast right now. Life, it means that, you know, Nisha is able to still stay out of the map, play that greedy style. Starts around pushing this tier 1 tower top if you can.
Oh, you don't want to get caught out though, Nisha. Smoke's gonna pop in the daytime, so he gets the attribute shift. Doesn't have enough mana for the moment, but the one charges. We're getting back to the secret shop, but Beastcoast still gonna pursue one. Ultimate Kiss is going to be used from afar. They will be able to cancel it instantly. A lot was committed and they won't get any kills off the back of it on Beastcoast. They're still going to try and move on forward, but Whisper just a little bit too shy with the blink distance. It's going to come down to the Rupture now to be able to dive under the T2 towers. They'll target down Resolution. An easy kill onto the Leshrac. They'll turn to the Chen next as well. They will not be able to protect Whisper, however, as Chrysalis along with Nisha turn it around for an easy kill onto the Centaur under the T2 tower.
Finally recognize that the Leshrac is the one doing a lot of the damage in these team fights, popping the Bloodstone onto him, the Rupture onto him, even with the Bloodstone enabled, he isn't able to keep him alive because of all the BKBs being committed there, so wisely enough, taking their team fights, having solid hero prioritization. Creeping up. He's nearly got the Manta available. Wants to play a little bit more around the silences that are coming through. Tank here as well, having those extra 10 stats from the ultimate orb.
My waters rise.
Definitely feels like this is an Aegis just though to help out with the farm from Secret. Really trying to take Nisha. We formed in to try and get the double damage rune. Maybe now you could think about smoking. Again, I really felt like the Aegis was going to be used just more defensively for farm, but maybe there could be an argument made for them to take a fight. The first ones to start it with the DD.
Yeah, they'll be considering it for sure. Be the level 2 morph, or if he's got duration. Find the Axe next. Question of what's going to help you most in this next team fight. Do they envisage it as being a long, drawn-out, extended team fight? I have to say, for Secret's sake, they wanted a quick one. They want quick pickoffs. They want to be able to use this Blink Dagger that Rezo has finished up if he wants to buy it, or they might even greed it out and go for the BKB instead.
East Coast going to be cautious. They're going to target down K1 first. Let's see if they can get the chain control. Beautiful Manta dodge from K1. Avoids the cross. They'll be able to blow up the Earth Spirit, but Seekers still want to take the team fight. Nisha's playing with a double damage rune. It won't be perched off though. Now with the coil setting up for the ultimate kisses. Whispers in the middle as well. A Bloodstone is going to be active, and meanwhile off to the right side though, Chrysalis just mauling down the members of Beastcoast. One more right click to secure the kill, but meanwhile to the left, they've caught up to C-Smile on the puck. So Secret, you lose 2 supports, but you take so much away from Beastcoast, and they might be able to get more as well as Nisha playing around with the puck replicant is going to have Zayats to follow up, and there'll be no escape, even kicking Nisha closer to his target to bring down the Snapfire in the tree line. Meanwhile, Stinger, he's also caught out as well. Secret, it looks like they're back in this game.
A single team fight. You see the difference that Manta provides, right? Speaking of the Manta, was a great usage there, like you mentioned, by Hector, but it just wasn't enough for them to be able to get control over that team fight. They wanted the quick kickoff. They wanted to be able to create that space away, but they're tanky enough now on Secret, and with that team fight victory, they're just going to look to extend that. Holding on to about 3,000 net worth on Rezo in the bank before that, and with that one team fight, almost has enough for the full BKB for himself. So a stage where multiple heroes need to be the main target for your Rupture, and you're only going to be able to choose one. Pick your poison sort of situation here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think it's really big with a lot of the experience that's also been given over to Chrysalis. Level 15 now. He wants to go into the talent, but really just getting closer to the 18, that's the big one. The 20 armor reduction that you're going to have to play with yourself, and even buffing up Nisha, who almost has Scepter completed. So this is starting to get some scary territories here for Beastcoast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nisha, 1,000 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter, nearly level 18. You've really got the... Do you have the BKB now, Rezo? Yeah, you do. And you're 500 away from a Blink Dagger on Crystal. So the Aegis is going to expire. They had amazing use out of it. They just got to try and withstand the pressure coming through from Beastcoast for the next couple of minutes. Item coming through from them as well. Nothing really on Puck, nothing really on Centaur. Feels like it might be the Basher coming through on Bloodseeker, and perhaps the 4-star of Gajira in the next couple of minutes that could influence them.
See if they can pick them up fast enough to then look to make a play. Still, Secret continuing to control this bottom jungle area. Really, they haven't left it for the entirety of the game. Always dropping vision down.
Rezo showing first.
Rezo was a bit far forward over the team. Oh, great BKB timing though. Will not be able to follow up for the moment, but the rest of Secret now going to try and protect Resolution. Instead, they'll get the kill into the Enchantress. Resolution's a long TP. He won't be able to finally escape, but he was just waiting for the rest of Secret to enter the team fight. But Nisha's going to be cautious. And Manta dodge onto the hook stop once again. K1's going to try and enter the fight, but he can't do so. The Bashes raining down as Chrysalis just holds him into place. They'll chase down the Snapfire in the tree line, and the sole survivor will be Whisper Centaur.
Oh boy, I mean, he just TP'd out right in front of all of them, and even his BKB ran out towards the end for about a second and a half, and they still weren't able to stop Rezo from going down. The power of that Bloodstone, man, you pop it, you make sure you poison over and your Edict are going, and then, you know, Bob's your own. It's very, very easy to be able to get that pick-off, but not if you've got the fast fingers of someone like Rezo. He is determined to show why he is a second-place achiever at TI, and he's not done with yet.
Dire's middle tower.
Take a look at that jump. I felt like the opening, didn't it? Because they were very split on Secret for that moment.
Yep. Ruptured. Look at his BKB. It runs out right now, and they still have about 2 seconds, but the silence is coming through there. Xur Spirit, another great performance coming through from him. And now they've hit those timings. They've got Blink Dagger on Slardar. They've got nearly the Blink Dagger on Leshrac. You've got the Aghanims on Morphling and the level 18.
Healing power.
Smiles coming from Puppy. I'd say that's the biggest smile you're ever going to get from the man. Bit of BKB on Zayats as well. Not care about this part at all in these team fights. You don't care about the Mortimer's Kisses. You need to commit so heavily to find these pickoffs. First need to change their style to a little bit more of the poke. You know, do you go something unorthodox? Do you go a Dagon on C-Smile? Just so that you can get that Blink Stomp into another stun, into the spell damage burst coming through, rather than trying to commit the Dream Coil with the Mortimer's Kisses, because they're just going to BKB and run away, and it's all going to be for nothing.
What you got to do is play around with this ward that you have. It's incredible placement around the Secret shop. See if Radiant move a little bit too fast for North, but they can get that opening. It's Targeting the mark.
The little friends, that's what they need to play with, especially considering now that Puppy has the ancient creep as well from his second shot.
He's going to drop the ward. They'll try and protect it from Beastcoast. They won't be able to do so. Looks like Zayat's only going to be able to catch up to one on Stinger. The Enchantress should end up going down. Gojira's deep by as well. Crystal should have to... Oh, he didn't have the attack speed to get the bashes up. But that
the Roche info.
Yeah, it's going to be Roche now, I think, for Secret. You buy back. The call. 4 on 5 or 5 on 5.
Back off. It's a wise decision. You need to try and find the pickoffs yourselves. You've got the tools to be able to do it. Like I've been saying before, all Rezo's really been waiting for is that Blink Dagger. Now he switches the role from being the bait to being the hunter. Potentially afford Misha onto the front lines as well. Especially if they claim the second Roshan. Be huge for him, getting the waveform attacks targets. BKB now, but tries to see any kind of lifesteal come through after that, and of course, likely... I don't even know if he goes the attribute shift, he goes the shard this game on Nisha. Like Crystallis would get a lot of value out of it.
These guys are running very far forward. Attribute shifts there once again. They're going to try and turn to deal with Zayat, but they won't be able to bring down Resolution. And BKB's going to protect him. Look at the damage from Nisha. Steals the blood rates, all the attack speed he would need. He just blows up K1. And now Beastcoast need to try and retreat, but Secret won't allow them to do so. Crystallis catches up this thing, and that's a dieback on the Enchantress. And now they can get the tier 1 tower and Roche as well. This is all Secret's game now. Oh, okay.
Just checking. Check if it works.
Making sure they won't jump into that moment.
Exactly. Level 20 as well. So just all these timings, the damage that Morphling is able to output, that's the power of the Aghanim Scepter, right? Just being able to turn your agility carry against the enemy team. And, well, pretty good time of that. They weren't able to claim the tier 1 mid, but it's only a matter of time until that one drops. Nisha claims top. Nisha has BKB. What a comeback from Secret. It wasn't looking too hot. 18% win probability at around the 18-minute mark. Basically flipped entirely on its head. Way up to 79% for them right now.
It's honestly something we're seeing way too often here from Secret. Trying to get cute onto C-Smile. Unable to slowly kill the puck, but yeah, it's just... Secret somehow are just doing this way too often. Through last gen's qualifiers and now potentially this game as well, the amount of times they've come back, somehow stabilizing a game when they are far behind, and is this forcing the Enchantress to go Midas? Like, Stinger. Alright.
Didn't do anything though?
I don't, we'll see.
Really, they're just tied with dealing with 8 different auras that Puppy's holding on to at all times. It means that he had to go further away from the little friend, which I'm very upset about. Love this Aghanim shard, especially against Chen and all the Zoo.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Just imagine, like, a Chen's right there in the middle of the fight, and then there's just this big golem that smashes him in the head. But I mean, this is how Secret draft, right? You said it's way too many times that they've been able to come back from these really bad-looking situations, but if you're going to draft for greed, all you need to do is withstand the early pressure. A single team fight, sometimes 2.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Complete difference. We've seen it so many times, right? A Morphling, as long as he gets past the 20 or so minute mark in a decent spot, you're good. You're going to carry the late game.
Yeah, and we see that's probably going to be the case until K1 picks up this Lincolns, where you can finally address the scepter on the Morphling. I wonder... okay, he did go Ag Shot. He had a queued up after the Lincolns, but has gone down this route. So the pure damage is going to be really nice now against the Morphling. You don't have to worry about his high armor that he's playing with, which is important. So he will be able to deal a decent amount of damage now inside these fights. His bottom lane, an easy kill on to Stinger. Crystallis is a real big issue. A real big issue now. Like, you are getting to the territory where you can just perma-bash people, and They're gonna go high ground, it looks like.
Tower is under attack.
Indeed they are. I mean, even just being able to steal... Oh, actually going for the deep dive here. Good movement spot by Bajira.
A double stun, but it doesn't matter. Secret just swarming further inside Beastcoast's territory. You get a buyback out of Whisper as well, but they won't net any return kill.
Still got the BKB and the Bloodstone on Rezo.
Tights. Hooks on the back line, they're going to kick Whisper into the middle. As Stampede used defense sleep, look at the damage on the K1. Oh my lord, Nisha with the right clicks. There's just no response to this man.
He's stealing
They
so much.
call it.
They just call it. They're like, we can't do anything against this morph thing. Honestly, off the back of this game, I'd be surprised if Beast Coast left through a single morph link again this game when they don't have first pick. I think it is that good, this game. This meta, this tournament, whatever you want to call it, it is just way, way too strong. You could even see the difference when...